So the whole point of these sessions is to bring anything that you want to work on, anything you want to tweak, anything you want to add, anything you want advice on or review on or anything like that. If you have stuff, marketing stuff that you want to help improve or help it generate more leads or help it generate more interest or engagement, that's what these sessions are for. So if you have that kind of stuff, great.
Mhm.
If you don't, I do have something that's a little off the marketing thing, but um, can help in a lot of ways as well. So anyway, so how we doing? How are you doing your marketing up there, Donna?
That's a good question. That's actually part of the reason why I wanted to jump on to this. I find that I'm starting like at ground zero. I have
Mm-hmm.
no connection to the community, not knowing anyone, not
Mm-hmm.
knowing neighborhoods, and of course not knowing the ins and outs of homes in general, because here we have basements and heaters and all kinds of there's sump pumps. I mean, that's all a really big thing here. So as far as my marketing, I have tried to think both inside and outside the box as far as my best turnaround for the money, but still reaching people in somewhat of a unique way where I did not look like the next 1,000 realtors that are next to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just started a mail campaign. I am picking a farm neighborhood that's over near where I live, and the house price is on a better end so that I'm getting more for my money. And that's actually that phone call that I just had. So I am doing mailers, but I am also being hands-on on the design of the mailer because I am looking to separate myself and form a brand. So the mailers are one of them. I did start back with Reminder Media and I am doing the magazine, but I
Mm-hmm.
am not mailing the magazine. There are so many businesses around here and an enormous amount of medical businesses, dentists, doctors, lawyers. I mean, enormous, enormous. So I am actually going to hand deliver those magazines to those businesses, and just have them sitting as a coffee table magazine.
Mm-hmm.
I figured that would be a different way to reach out to people because here, the funeral homes, the lawyers' offices, the dentist and doctor's offices, with the amount of medical here, is the people I'm probably looking for as buyers or sellers.
Okay.
Um, and then I've I've bumped up my social media both there. I hired someone there to do my social media. And then I also, on this end, with the company, I ended up with some social media assistance, some of it free, some of it paid for. And I'm now also doing a commercial campaign. It's an AI generated commercial campaign. It's an ad that shows up when you're searching. Relatively inexpensive for the reach, but I get analytics back on it. And then don't cringe when I tell you this, but I just joined homes.com and I've been very pleasantly surprised because I was against it for a while. I'm not looking at it as a lead generation source. I'm looking at it to get my name out there for branding. And by joining, they took on both Caldwell Banker and Wisconsin. So I'm getting dual use out of it.
Okay.
I'm trying to, with the analytics that I'm getting back from all of that stuff, especially homes.com is actually giving me an enormous amount of analytics and they're sending maps to show who's clicking and where they live. I'm using that information to target my social media posts.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. How long
Sure.
have you been? How long have you been doing this process now? This way
I
with the social media,
I just
homes.com.
started.
You just started.
My mailing is actually going out Friday. I just started. I joined homes.com a week ago. So I don't have anything to show for it. My magazines are getting delivered this week. I just started.
Okay. So, and then how long have you been doing the social media thing?
I, so I switched brokerages from when I first got here.
Okay.
I was not comfortable where I was with that other brokerage and with everything that went on with my mom.
Hmm.
I just started at this brokerage a month ago.
Okay.
And so I have pushed out there where I am,
Hmm.
but I've also tried to just try to make it something simple like, um, not that I've switched brokerages, just that I'm new to Wisconsin, but have experience.
So, I'll just throw this out there. I was with Remax for a long time. And but prior to Remax, I was with Century 21. And from Remax, I went to Keller Williams. And then I went from Keller Williams to my own brokerage, right?
Mhm.
Each one of those times, I never said anything about moving.
Okay.
I just changed the logo on my marketing. I
Yeah.
never mentioned anything about it. And most people never even caught on. Okay.
Yeah.
So it just sometimes it's that transition so that if you don't mention it, people won't notice it, right?
Well, it's funny that you say that because when I first got here and I was with First Weber, that's when I kind of announced some things. But
Hmm.
now that I came over here to Berkshire, I don't say anything.
Okay, that's fine,
Yeah.
and that's fine because a lot of times like it won't matter.
Hmm.
It just won't matter. So, um, what have you been doing that's been consistent since you got there? Like what marketing have you been doing that you've been doing for more than a month?
Social media.
Okay. And how long have you been doing the social media?
You mean from when I first got here?
Yeah. Yeah. So you started it right away?
July.
Okay. So July of last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How many leads have you generated from social media? Okay.
I
What
don't know.
platform are you working on social media? Are you doing Instagram,
Facebook
Facebook,
and yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
and LinkedIn? Okay. So
Like,
I can offer you there's some of this advice. Okay.
oh,
Try to establish yourself on one platform
Hmm.
before trying to do many, right?
Okay.
I mean, it's fine if you have a couple of interesting things that you want to post on LinkedIn or something like that, and that's fine. But to try and maintain a campaign
Hmm.
on all three
Hmm.
becomes difficult because each platform is different, right?
Hmm.
And it favors different things, and you really have to adjust um, your delivery for that specific platform, right? So Facebook is you have about a 2 day lifespan, right?
Hmm.
So when you post something up, it's good for about 2 days, unless it picks up traction. If it's otherwise, nobody's ever going to see it again, right?
Hmm.
On Instagram is more visual, right? And it's more about um, uh,
hmm.
creating something that's a little more interactive in the sense of uh, in garnering views. In Facebook, you don't want to garner views. What I want to garner in Facebook is actual engagement. I need questions. I need comments, right?
Hmm.
I need shares on Facebook in order for that post to hold ground and to
Hmm.
continue to live, right? On Instagram, it's the likes and you know, comments help,
Interesting.
don't get me wrong,
Right.
Holly, but the more that people view it and like it, the longer a life it'll have, right? LinkedIn is a completely different animal. And I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of people don't use LinkedIn the correct way, right? LinkedIn is a business platform. It was built as a business platform, and everybody's trying to turn it into a social media platform, right?
Agreed.
And the
Yeah.
problem is that it's not reaching the people you want to reach, right? You can't just do a, hey, I got a new listing video on
Right.
LinkedIn. Nobody cares. Okay. If I have something specific that I can appeal to an upper end executive or middle management or the my target person for that,
Hmm.
that I'm trying to reach, doctors, okay,
Hmm.
attorneys, lawyers, then I'm gonna
Mm.
put that in. Like let's just take, for example, an attorney. Maybe there's a decent neighborhood that's not a long commute to the courthouse, right?
Hmm.
Or to some central legal center, right? And I'm going to point out, hey, if you're tired of the commute and you're looking to be closer to the courthouse, this may fit that need. And then I might give them a little information about the neighborhood, right? Here's some information about the neighborhood, and here's a property that might fit that desire. So in that case, you're going to have a little bit better interaction that way than if
Hmm.
I'm just putting up, hey, I just got a new listing, right?
Hmm.
That's going to be a little more difficult. You're not going to gain any ground. I can
Hmm.
tell you this. If you've been doing it since July and you haven't generated any connection or interest
Hmm.
on your social media, it's the messaging that's the problem.
Okay.
Even more than the visuals, it's the messaging,
Hmm.
right? So it's all, and this was what we worked on yesterday a little bit was about messaging. Um, if you can see the videos, you still get those emails, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you can check those out and check that
Okay.
one out and go a little bit, understand a little bit more. But here's the thing: no matter what platform you are on, the structure of the
Hmm.
messaging that you do
Hmm.
is you got to have that hook point, right? You got to have that it's either got to jump out at somebody and either create curiosity or a high level of interest or a shock value, right?
Hmm.
That's going to draw them in, right? And make them watch you for more than 3 seconds.
Hmm.
If they don't watch you for at least 3 seconds, you're out. Okay.
Wow.
They're not going to watch the rest. Okay. So here, this is actually scientifically proven, right?
Hmm.
So human beings on social media in general have a shorter lifespan, a shorter attention span, not lifespan, a shorter attention
That too.
span than a goldfish. Okay. So that is a fact. That is science fact. Okay. The average goldfish has an attention span of about 8 seconds, while the average human has an attention span of about 3.3 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
So if you don't catch them within that period of time and get them to click on or watch the video, watch the whole preview, then your message is just going nowhere, right?
Hmm.
So that's the most important thing is the hook. The next part is to attach the pain point that you're trying to address.
Say
So
that again. The what?
the pain point, right?
Okay.
The pain point is it's the message of what that person that you're trying to reach out to is encountering. And this is the message that says, "Oh my God, she's talking about me." Right? That's she's talking exactly about me and what my problem is or what my desire is, right? So in
Hmm.
yesterday I mentioned people move away from pain
Hmm.
or they move towards pleasure, right? So the pain point has to deal with one of those two things. It's either how you help someone move away from the pain or you help someone move toward their pleasure, right?
Hmm.
That's how you that's where you capture the attention span. Then you provide the solution, which is the story, right? The story part. So this is where you helped or you were able to provide information that educates, okay? And then you have the call to action. And the call to action is what you want that viewer to do at the end of the video. So what I say when I say that, a lot of people say, "Well, I want them to call me. I want them to list with me. I
Hmm.
want them." That's not what I mean. Okay. What I mean is specifically, do I want them to DM me? Do I want them to email me? Do I want them to send me a text? Do I want them to go to a website? Do I want them to, scan a QR code? What is it specifically I need them to do at the end of this video? And that's actually where you start. Okay. So if I know I have, like, you want to break into a new area, right? The
Right.
best thing that you can do to break into new area in social media is to provide some sort of market um, um, statistics on that area, but not in the way we usually do it.
Hmm.
Okay. So, for example, and I don't know if you've ever seen me. Have you ever seen me do that, Donna? Have you ever seen me create the market stats video?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So the way that you do this, it's in the messaging. So let's say you can go on RPR and
Hmm.
generate a report almost down to
Right.
a 2 block radius, right? On anything, right?
Hmm.
So I can generate a market activity report or a market trends report on RPR
Hmm.
specifically to a certain neighborhood that I want to farm in, right?
I've actually been doing those here.
Great. Okay. So here's what I want them to download that. But my call to action for that is not just, hey, download the guide, but
Mhm.
if you're interested in getting more detailed information on what's happening in Rolling Hills, right? I've put
Oh.
together a very detailed report that gives you the current conditions in Rolling Hills, and I provide my opinion on where the market is going in the next 6 to 12 months. So let me explain to you why I do that. I'm going to mute you, Isabel. Just got a little background noise there. Okay. So why do I specifically say 6 to 12 months? You should know, Donna. Why would I specifically say my opinion of where the market's going in the next 6 to 12 months?
Because the market's going to change and shift.
Right. So do you think if someone's thinking about selling, right, would that be information that they would want to know?
Yes.
Okay. So in addition to that, when do people usually start to think about selling their house?
I think they've probably started thinking about it a long time ago, but when they finally take action of it is a different thing.
Right.
I think that
So
they have
that
to process it.
exactly, right? Usually they start to say, "Oh, hey, honey, maybe we should sell. Maybe we should move closer to the kids. Maybe we should move closer to the
Right.
doctor. Maybe maybe it's time to make a change." But the process doesn't happen immediately. They don't go, "Oh,
Yeah.
let's just
Six to
sell."
12 months.
There you go. So I want to plant that seed, right? And specifically, I want to say 6 to 12 months because usually, if I can provide them enough good information of value, I might be able to
Hmm.
accelerate that time period, right? So if I'm going to do this report on Rolling Hills, and here's the detailed information on where the market is currently in Rolling Hills and my
Hmm.
opinion on where the market's going to go in the next 6 to 12 months, they're going to say, "Oh,
Right.
honey, we just mentioned about talking selling the house in about a year. Let's check that out." Right? That would be of value, right? Because if I
Hmm.
offer just the generic, hey,
Right.
home guide, I'm not going to get anything, right? It's
Yeah.
not
Here's what your home's worth today when today's not the day.
right. Exactly.
Okay.
Right. I want to know what's coming,
Right.
so
Okay.
I can put those people into my sphere of influence now, and we'll start that relationship building, right? So I
Yes.
have to give them a specific action at the end of the video. So now I've gone I start with the end in mind and I
Hmm.
work my way backwards. Okay, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to deliver. Now let me put my messaging together, which is Rolling Hills subdivision, right? And I'm going to put the messaging together. I don't give them a full detailed report.
Hmm.
So here's a little, as an example. We have these automated posts that go up that show home sold price per square foot or home sold
Hmm.
average price, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean much to anybody. You can look and see what the engagement level is on those. What does mean to something is I want to see a person and I want, I want to hear what's going on. I don't need to provide them full details, but I need to provide them, hey, in the last 30 days in Rolling Hills, right now there is 7 properties on the market with an average sale price or an average asking price of this, but only 3 sold. And they sold for an average price of this. If you want to get more detailed information on what the current market is in Rolling Hills, I've put together this detailed report that I can provide you, and I'll provide my opinion on where the market's going to go in the next 6 to 12 months. Just
Hmm.
scan this QR code or click the link below, and you can get that report. And what I do is that goes to a landing page that captures their name and email address, right? So I have a way to contact them. And then now I need to hook on the front end. So my hook right now becomes, have you heard about what's happening in Rolling Hills? You might not believe it, right? Or something recently just happened in Rolling Hills that you need to hear about, right? Or have you saw what happened to the prices in Rolling Hills? Or something along, you see what I'm saying? It now it makes it so much easier to figure out how to hook somebody. But I'm talking specifically to those people in Rolling Hills.
Hmm.
That makes sense?
Yes,
Okay. Do you have
I
a
can
question
see
for me?
how I can actually incorporate that media post to my farming neighborhood with my postcards.
Exactly. That's the other part. And this is what we talked about in the first session in launch. Okay. So you have a four-pronged effort, right? Now, if
Hmm.
I have postcards, I have
Hmm.
social media, I have a newsletter, and I have phone calls, right? So for my prospecting. What I want is to cover that with a single theme for that month. So my postcard, my social media, my newsletter, and my phone calls all have the same theme.
I
So if
like
it's
that.
about the market report, it's about the market report on the postcard, market report on my social media, market report on a newsletter. And then when I do my phone prospecting, what do I say? Hi, this is Donna, with Coldwell Banker Schmidt. By the way, I'm just calling to find out, did you happen to get my market report that I provided for Rolling Hills?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So it's repetitive, right?
Hmm.
And that you build the connection, right, between you, the information, and then the property or the neighborhood itself.
Hmm.
They may not always remember your name, but they will remember the theme.
Right.
Okay. So this is where um, now you develop a 12-month plan based on that. And you adjust it, because you're going to adjust for the holidays, you're going to adjust for, seasons or whatever.
Hmm.
And then you have your magazine, which then
Hmm.
again reinforces it again if you're distributing that in an
To that
area,
area. Nice. That's a good idea. I
right?
didn't think of that. There's a lot of places
Yeah.
with that farm area that those magazines can go.
Where would be some best places to do that? Where do women go where they may spend some time and they need something to read or do while they're there?
Nail salon,
And
a spa,
okay.
a hairdresser.
Oh,
Um,
oh, ding, ding, ding. You just won on the Price is Right. There you
what do I get?
you get my knowledge for free. No.
I take it. I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't originally think with my magazine, I didn't think to distribute my own magazine in the same damn neighborhood I was going to farm.
There you go. Right. So that
Yeah.
reinforces it.
Yeah.
Right. Again, it's all uh, when I first when I first started farming, I had it was an area which was really, I think it was about a mile and a half from my office. And for some reason, nobody had worked it. So I did have an advantage. Um, but I made a point, even though I lived up in North Broward and my farm was in South Broward, I made a point of doing everything in South Broward. So I got my hair cut there. I went to the dry cleaners there. I went to restaurants there. I did shopping there. I was always in the neighborhood, right?
Mhm.
And I was always driving the neighborhood when I could. Every morning, I would stop and just hit 2 blocks. right? And
Mhm.
make notes about the different properties. But I got to know the mailman. I got to know the UPS guy, the garbage man, things like that. And it helped a lot in getting that market off the ground. Um, so much so that within, I think it was like 6 months or 7 months, I was already expanding, right? And into other areas. So it's the same premise. If I use social media in the same way, I'm
Mhm.
going to reach into that neighborhood. I want to talk to that neighborhood. And then what I'm going to do, here's something, a secret that a lot of people don't know. You mentioned about doing ads, right?
Mhm.
So did you know that you can go onto Facebook, you can upload the market area that you're trying to market to and use that as a custom audience. Did you know that? And then your
No,
ads only get delivered to those people.
I'll have to call you about that.
Okay. So there is a thing called custom audiences, right? And you can upload a database or a mailing list to Facebook, and it will deliver ads within that circle. So if you can run ads, so now you can target ads with the specific name of the community that you
Mhm.
want. And
Mhm.
who's doing that? Nobody.
Right.
And you don't have to spend a ton of money. You can spend $3 a day or $5 a day,
Mhm.
at the most. $5 a day would probably be too much. So you're going to get better penetration in that way.
The commercial that is going out through this company, um, it's actually an AI commercial, and you get to pick sort of the theme of your commercial,
Hmm.
and then you get to pick a radius of where you want that commercial to hit.
Hmm.
So my farm area is in that radius. And that commercial, it plays for 30 days as an ad, just a pop-up commercial. And then every month they change it, and then another one goes up, but I get the analytics back from it. And
Okay.
it's $59 a month.
Okay. Good.
But
So
I
you,
don't,
but you just started that, right?
yes, I did.
All right. So you got to give yourself at least 3, 4 months before you
Yeah,
see how it goes,
yeah.
right? Okay. So that's the other thing too, is if your message, if you, well, anything you do, you got to give it, especially on social media, you got to give it at least 6 months to a year for it to
Hmm.
kind of take hold, right?
Hmm.
Sometimes it'll take off right away, depending upon who your target market is. And
Hmm.
sometimes, it takes a little longer, but it takes 6 months to a year for it to really build and where you see big, big results. But if you've
Order
been,
Jimmy John's with us.
if you did,
Thank you.
if you've been doing it for since July, then you know that you have to make a change, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
I
that,
actually, from what I started in July, I have actually revamped it totally since I've been here for the last month.
good. Good. Okay. I hope that was helpful for you.
It was very helpful because I realized I did not make that connection to include my farm area in everything else I was doing. All I kept thinking was to hit the masses.
So what happens when you spread your message too wide?
The message gets too thin.
Right. There you go. Exactly. So, but
Okay.
if I concentrate it into a specific area, I can get a better traction in a shorter period of time than if I try
Mhm.
to, right? For me, let's say you were in the Keys and all of a sudden you want to market to everybody from Key West to Marathon. That
Right.
would cost you a fortune, right? It would cost
Hmm.
you a fortune. So, and you would never be able to sustain that on a consistent basis. And that is where most Asians fail. They drop
Hmm.
5,000 postcards, but they can't
Right.
afford to drop 5,000 postcards every single month,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So I have to commit to what is I can do consistently. If I can't do it consistently, then don't do it. Okay?
I pretty much put myself on a path of at least seeing something by month 7.
Yeah, that's good. That's fine. Okay. You got to give it at least 6 months.
Okay.
Postcards, you got to give a year. Yeah, you have to commit to postcards for a year in order to see
Okay.
good response from them. That it also has to do with your distribution, right? And how you're distributing, uh, the where you're distributing and how you're distributing. Are you using every door direct, or are you using a specific mailing list? Um, because every door direct could be very cheap, but it can go to a lot of places that aren't going to
Mhm.
benefit you, right?
Mhm.
So because they're outside the area, because it goes by the mail route, it doesn't go by a geographic area.
This is actually it's with the postal service and it doesn't require an address label. It just
Right.
goes in every mailbox.
So that's the every door direct, right? But you chose your route, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you know that the route that you used is within your market area
And only residential. Yes.
and only okay, good. Okay. So that's good. Then I'll be honest with you, I didn't know that they offered only residential as an
Yes.
option now. Okay, good.
Hmm.
Great. All right. Let's see. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to bring up, or any kind of marketing that you'd like to talk about? I can't hear you, Isabel. You're muted. Were you asking? Go ahead.
No, but okay, so what I need is I would like to do one campaign on back at you, like one from
Hmm.
A to Z, and then so I can learn. I want to get into that part of
Are,
the business, but I don't know if I do one with you, but not today. That's what I.
are you talking about a social media campaign or an email
Yes.
campaign?
No, no, the social media. You explained to me that there is a calendar, and then I
Right.
can figure it out, and then it does it by itself. In like, okay, every 15, Facebook, every 10 days, Instagram, but consistently. But I know you explained it, but I would like to do one with you
Yeah,
one day,
sure. Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
the
Yeah, we can.
step. Yeah.
Let me just look at the calendar. Hold on.
Sometimes it's just about inputting the information so the internet can work for you. You know, AI can work for you. But you got to put that.
Right. Let me, so just so you know, I'm going to be out of the office um
uh,
tomorrow afternoon, and I won't be back till Tuesday. So is next week okay? Is that good? Is that okay
Yeah,
with you?
yeah. We usually do Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do Tuesday at 10 o'clock again. Is that all right?
Yes. Yeah. You
Okay.
are very, yes, calendar. Yeah. Okay. So that will be my thing for now. Uh,
Okay.
So when you talk about the postcard, I just started doing postcard for my neighborhood. It's kind of big, but I divided it in two. All right, so I ordered that. They said it's going to be, I think that one is like $100. So my budget has to be for a year and do it every month, right?
Yes.
Really?
If you don't, if it takes that much time in order to see what kind of response you get. Sometimes you get lucky and you're getting responses right away. But you have to understand that the typical postcard response is just, is like one to 1.5%. That's average, right? So if
It's
I
like
send out
playing
a
the
thousand
lotto.
postcards, yeah, okay. But
Uh,
if I tweak my messaging, right? If I make my postcard stand out by not looking like every other postcard, or sounding like every other postcard, I should say,
yeah.
then I can get a much better response. And a good example, I wish I had I think I do at home, but so I had a partner and I did a big 6x9 postcard, and it was just yellow with black letters, right? And there were no pictures on it, no nothing, just said, get your home value now for free. Click here, or scan here. And that's all it said, right? And on the back, it was, uh, get the current home value for, and at the communities that we were sending it to. So we had each specific community on the back, right? here's the current home values in Pegasus. If you want to get your home value, go to this website. And we got hundreds of responses like that
Right.
for an ugly postcard, just yellow,
But it was
black
simple.
letters.
It
Yeah.
was simple, two, three lines. I don't believe in letters anymore. I get my own share for realtor. I don't even open them anymore, right?
And
You don't want to do that.
yeah, here's a good piece of advice. Avoid fancy script and fancy letters, okay? Because if somebody pulls it out of the mailbox and they look at it and they can't read immediately what it says and what the intent of that part is, it's automatically going in the garbage, right? If it's
Yes.
too busy, if the postcard is too busy and it's got like a lot of dentists do this, right? They have 27 photos on the postcard, it goes in the garbage, right? If you keep the message simple and the image clear, I'm not saying you can't use photos, you can, but don't let the photo take away from the message. The message has to be clear. So use block letters, simple type, no script cursive, because some people can't read script. Okay, that's not a joke,
True.
especially nowadays.
Yeah.
So, and it makes it difficult to read. So if I can't read, it's like looking at a billboard. I'm driving down 95. You look at a billboard, and you're seeing
One
it like
second.
that, and you don't. I have
Yeah.
no idea what I see this guy's face on there, but I have no idea what the billboard said.
I
So
can
what
say
good is
that
that?
one of the things I did
Yeah.
was between my mom's mail and my mail and everything that was coming in, I started to go through which one did not attract me and which
Hmm.
ones did. And then I
Hmm.
went to those ideas of the ones that I actually thought, oh my God, that's actually pretty good. And
That's
it
an
didn't
excellent.
matter if it was from a realtor or if it was from a dentist office. It was the theme of the message of the card and did it want to make me look at it?
That is actually excellent idea. And funny thing that you say that because I'll tell you a postcard that got me, uh, and I don't even know what party she belongs to, but it was a state representative that sent me a birthday postcard. And I was
Mhm.
like, I look at it, it was like the happy birthday, Frank. And I'm like, what? I was like,
That's
and it's a
funny.
state representative. I have no idea, never heard of her before, but am I going to vote for her? Sure.
Right.
I don't know
On
what party
Facebook.
she's with. No, but I'm going to vote for her. She sent me a
But
birthday
that's
card.
the interesting thing. It's
Right.
not necessarily exactly what we do or don't know about real estate, but if they like what they get from us, they're just going to use us. And that's exactly it. You're going to vote for her. Oh, I'm going to call that girl. I
There
mean,
you go.
it's, I can give you all the
Absolutely.
marketing stats in the world, but if you don't like me, you're not going to call me.
Exactly.
If my card offended you or if my card just immediately got thrown away.
Absolutely.
So
That's
I steal
absolutely.
other people's ideas on their cards.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this stuff is not new. Okay. It's
Right,
been the same messaging and what I've given you, that structure is not new. It's been used for
right.
since the early 1900s. I mean, it's not new. It's just you just have to apply it because people always think that, we get too mixed up with status versus results, right? I want people to see my look at me and say, "Oh, look how pretty she is," or "Oh, look what how big this sale was," right? Rather than providing the message that really matters to that person, right?
There's a there's a realtor here. He's in Appleton, just 30 miles north of me. And he's a very generic looking, laid back, run of the mill, average looking person guy. He's probably 35 or 40, except for he started a new video series and he
Hmm.
actually now does other agents' homes. And he's got a weird name, but he runs like full speed through his videos. He's like, front door, garage, Oh no, no, we're not going there. And then, but he's so entertaining, and like sometimes he'll even trip, or sometimes you'll see him go up and down and be all excited about a certain feature. You don't really get to see the house. You get the gist of it, but he has your attention for, like you said, way more than that 3 seconds because you want to see what antic he's up to next.
Yeah.
And then that this is the consistent thing in every one of his videos. He has a flyer that's usually sitting on a desk or table, and he pauses forever so slightly, and he goes, up, stud, and he's a picture of himself with his information. Every video, regardless of how he's making it funny, like he parkoured through a house one day. It was hysterical. The point is, everyone's watching his video.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
not going to do that, but
no,
it's that theory of coming up with making
you,
someone watch you.
you can't, don't do anything that doesn't reflect who you are.
Exactly.
Okay. And if
I can't parkour.
Donna, I wouldn't even want to see that. I'd be afraid of the results. Right.
Yep.
So, but yeah, you have to do things that you're comfortable with, that you're authentic with, and stuff
Mhm,
like Allie doing the costume stuff, in her
mhm,
videos. And there's a who's it, Bree Sells Tampa, who she
mhm.
curses like a sailor in the videos and does all these, but she's actually also a stand-up comedian, right? And but her, she gets tons and tons of views. What I really want to know is, are you getting business from it?
Right,
Right? So that's really the key, because it's great to get the views. It's great to
right,
have the notoriety, but am
right.
I actually getting business from it? Am I getting leads from it?
Okay.
That's the key. And I can get more leads by educating a buyer or a seller with information that is important to them
Mhm.
much faster than I can get by coming up with, like a stunt kind of thing. But if
Right,
that fits his personality and people
right,
like his personality, then they'll work
right.
with him. And I'm sure he does get
Exactly.
business from it, right? But it has to match, right? Because that's not gonna work for everybody. There'll be
So
people who try to imitate it, but it won't pan out.
that leads me into the question of branding. When you're trying to brand yourself, like you said, you guys sent out that yellow card.
Mhm.
How does branding fit into what you're putting out?
So again, it has to do with messaging, right? It's getting the message across at the same time, because when they would go there on the website, it was us, right?
Mhm,
It was me and my partner, and his name was
mhm.
Jeff also. But it was us, right? So there was information about us. So they were going to see that no matter what. And the same stuff was being placed on social media, on Facebook and stuff like that. So the yellow card became like known that it was us, right? And that made it easier, and more acceptable for people to get information from us. So um, it worked out really good. Unfortunately, it was like, you know, um, the crash. So, there are things that you just can't you can't get around. When the crash happens. Um, Kirsten, you have anything that you want to ask?
No, I'm just listening. I'm working my way towards better social media. I've done some, but it's not really I'm not really an antics person. So I've been just toying with a lot of ideas
Yeah.
on what I want to do,
Hmm.
but I'm not ready to pull the trigger yet just because I'm working towards it. But my mind is always going for it. So, but this is
And
all helpful because it keeps me thinking and
yeah, that's
learning.
fine,
So,
Kirsten. Um, you should ask Allie, about the first time we did a video. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, she was falling to pieces. She was falling apart. Um, but I ran through it with her a few times. Probably like 6 or 7 times, and we did it. And then finally, it was just like, Allie, just be you, just be you.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do, right? And that helped. So, and we made it very short, right? And I didn't, we didn't drag it out. So sometimes do some short stuff that that's not difficult for you, and then you'll get used to it. And then, I mean, within weeks, she was dressing up as a little Bo Peep and or doing uh what was
And
that
it
one?
works for her.
Yeah, it does.
Mine's
Yeah.
mine is more topics. There's certain topics and a certain, I would say, vibe I want to go with, and I know what it is, but because I'm still at this place of learning and growing, um, yeah, I don't know. I'll
There's
leave
a
it at that for now. But I have done some videos. I was posting for a while. Wasn't super excited about them, just like open house events and all. But I'd like to do something when I'm in a
yeah.
position, start being consistent too, right? And I want to become like a knowledge source. Uh, but
Here's
like I
Can I
said,
give
I'm
you an
just learning
idea?
from everybody. Huh?
Can I give you an idea?
Sure.
Okay. So you've been living here how long now?
Full time 2 years.
2 years. Okay. So why not approach it from that perspective? And you could be reserved, and you don't have to be antics, right? But you could literally give people or educate people or provide information based on being new, right? And just say, hey, I'm Kirsten. I've been living in Marathon for 2 years, and I'm learning things new every day. I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker Schmidt Real Estate, and I like finding out about new things. So what I like to do is share my journey with you about the things I've learned about Marathon and about the Keys since I've moved here. And then you make that a series. Hey, you want to know what I learned today? Right? Hey, here's something interesting I learned today. You won't believe what I learned today. Right? And believe it or not, people will appreciate that. Right? It's not going to look, oh, well, she doesn't know anything. Don't be afraid. That's not true. What they're going to say is, hey, you know what? Kirsten, she's really honest. She's really authentic. She's really trying to help people. And I love the way she delivers that information. Right. So you have the know and the like, and then you just got to
Mhm.
build the trust. So
Right.
you just answered your own question is what should I do? I'm new. I want to be a source of information. Combine all of that together and become the, hey, I just learned this today person.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
that's
might want to think
helpful.
about that.
I'll give that some thought. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, good deal. All right. Anything else you guys want to go over? Anything? Okay. I want to share something with you really quick. Um, that I have been working on, and I think this is going to go. I think this is going to go national, people. Um, Let me pull this up here.
I have a question, Frank.
Yes,
Canvas. When are you going to do the next Canvas?
that's going to be next week because I'm going to be out of town. So we couldn't get the schedule to work right. Um, but I will have it for you next week for sure.
I'm thinking about
Mhm.
just getting on the application and playing and search so I get familiar and then I can ask you questions.
Sure,
It's
absolutely.
not that easy. Yeah. That's to make
I
videos, right? To make good
I
videos.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Okay,
Mm.
let me share this with you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be doing this in a class for in May, but I want to give you a preview. So one of the things that can make you build your confidence and make you unstoppable in a very short period of time is role play. And a lot of us don't get enough role play. We don't work with our scripts enough. We don't do what we're supposed to do. And sometimes you may have even a partner that you're doing it with and it's not working. One of the other things that makes it difficult is if you're doing role play via Zoom, it's not the same as doing it on the phone. When we're on Zoom, we can see each other. I can react to what you're saying. I can react to your movements. I can react to your facial expressions, right? But that doesn't happen on a phone. So what I did was I started working with a role play assistant through ChatGPT voice. And
Nice.
these are the instructions on how to create a ChatGPT voice that you can set up and roll and do any kind of role play that you want. So the bottom line is very simple. You upload the scripts to ChatGPT. All of your my query scripts or whatever scripts that you're using, you upload them to ChatGPT. Then you take this prompt right here, and this is going to teach ChatGPT how to be a homeowner, how to be a seller, how to make objections. And there are different levels. So you have more of a beginner, intermediate, and advanced level. So you put this in there, and then you can give it these roles. Here's the command type. So I can say, start a role play. You are a for sale by owner. The difficulty level is intermediate. Your personality type is inquisitive, but reserved. My goal is to get a face-to-face appointment. Use my
Oh,
uploaded script as the reference. Stay in character until I ask for feedback. So you end role to end it. You end role play. But all I have to do at this point then is just click this button right here, and I can actually role play with my um, with my voice assistant. And here is just some example role play commands that you can give it in order to try different types of scripts. Right? I always upload the script. If you'd like this, I'd be happy to send it to you.
yeah.
And you can just
Can we
copy
use
this
that?
prompt.
Yeah.
Yes?
No,
Yes?
I mean,
Okay.
can you send and copy and paste and I enter and see if it works? I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So once we do this, so I'll just kind of let me see. Oh, you know what?
Okay.
I got to stop the share for 1 second. Let me restart that again.
Wow.
Give me just a second. I'll kind of give you a quickie on how that works.
Can you do it? Yeah.
Okay. So here we go.
Mm.
Hey, Sophie, how you doing today?
Hey there, I'm doing great and happy to be chatting with you. What's on your mind
Mm.
today?
Sophie, I want to start a role play session. Are we ready?
Absolutely, I'm ready when you are. Just tell me the scenario, difficulty level, and what kind of personality you'd like me to play, and we'll jump right in.
Fantastic. I want you to act as an expired listing. Difficulty level is beginner, but I still want you to be a little curious and uh, not uh, not become really agreeable right away. Does that sound good?
That sounds perfect. I'll be your curious expired homeowner, but still keep it on the easier side. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and start the conversation.
Great. Thanks, Sophie. Okay, here, let's go. Start role play.
Hello, this is Mary. I'm just curious. Why are you calling about my home now, after all this time?
Hey, Mary, I know that your home was on the market and it didn't sell, but I'm calling to find out if if you know why your home didn't sell. What do you think your home didn't sell?
Well, I did have some interest early on, but nothing really came through. So I'm wondering, what would you do differently this time?
Ah,
Sophie, Mary, that's a great question. Are you familiar with what the things I do to differently in order to get a home sold?
I'm not entirely sure what you do differently. Can you tell me a bit more about your approach and why it might work now?
Okay, so I'm going to stop it there. Stop role play.
wow.
Got it. Role play is paused. Whenever you're ready, just let me know if you'd like any feedback on how that went, or if you'd like to jump into another scenario.
Give me feedback on my beginning script.
You had a really friendly and calm tone, which is a great start. You asked why the home didn't sell, which showed curiosity. But next time you could frame it with even more empathy, something like, I know it must have been frustrating. That can help build rapport even faster.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sophie. We're going to stop here and then we'll pick it up again later.
You're so welcome. I'm always here whenever you want to dive back in. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll pick up next time.
Did you name
Wow.
her?
I was
Okay.
gonna say, who is Sophie?
Yeah. Did you name her?
Yeah, this Sophie is my personal assistant. Yes.
You can choose different voices, right?
Yes. No, actually, here's the thing. So the way the prompt works is she'll choose different voice. If you notice, there was a little bit of a different voice when she was talking to me and when we were doing the role play, right?
Yeah.
So it actually tries to make it sound like the phone, right? It gives it a
Hmm.
little static, and then
Hmm.
it can change voices as well, depending upon the type of personality. So she could be a man, she could be a woman, she could be angry, she could be likable, she could be right. So it will actually change the voice based on the instructions that I give it for the role play. So now
Very
you have a
interesting.
much more realistic thing. If you did this for 10, 15 minutes every day in the morning, you would kill it on your scripts.
Wow.
Cool?
Can you email us those
Yep,
instructions that you had?
absolutely. I'm only sending it to you guys, so don't share. Okay?
Okay, so
No problem.
so you create one for the person you're calling. Do you input anything on ChatGPT for the things you want to say that sometimes you get nervous and don't say it? Like, part of the
No. So what
script?
I did is I only uploaded the Mike Ferry scripts, right? That's all I did on this one because the whole point of doing the role play is to train yourself on those scripts, right? So I want to give the voice assistant a framework or a reference to give me feedback when we're done. So I focus on that. She will, and mine is a she, yours could be a he, okay? She will um give me suggestions, right? So when I stop the role play and say give me feedback, she'll
Yeah.
give me suggestions on how to improve what I just did,
Ah,
Hmm.
okay. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
or
Hold on a
maybe a
second.
different approach, or my tone of voice, so on and so
The
forth.
more you use it, the more you do that, um, how does it not repeat itself?
It does it because it each time you're mixing the personality and the type of experience level. So if
Hmm.
I adjust the experience level and I adjust the
Hmm.
personality, I'm going to get
Hmm.
different responses, right? It's
Now,
not, and even if I did the same one, if I did the exact same one, she may not come back with the same exact responses.
gotcha,
So
gotcha.
there is a randomness to it.
And the other thing was the more you do it and the more information you're putting into it, does it save that?
It will
Sorry.
learn. It will learn.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Doesn't save
Very
your
cool.
conversation, but it will
Right,
learn.
but it saves the like it knows your typical response, so it actually realizes, okay.
And then what's really good is that you can print out it won't save a recording, but it will save a transcript of that conversation. So you can print
Hmm.
that out and look at it
Hmm.
and say, oh, I could have did this better. Let me try this next time. That kind of thing.
Hmm.
Okay,
Very cool.
cool.
I am not
All right,
familiar
guys.
with Chat GPT at all, so that's interesting.
Okay. Well, I actually am certified. I'm a
Ooh.
certified AI professional.
Donna, it's Natalie. I can tell you the AI is very interesting. I've been using it for a hot minute, and I did an assessment thing with Frank, and it was like, really, come on. Very
Natalie's been
interesting.
hiding in the background there.
I have,
Okay.
but it's very useful though. I mean, I
Mhm.
honestly use it for a lot.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
I would
lot
be
we can do with
interested in that. I haven't I'm a bit rusty with little Mike Ferry, so it would be interesting to put those scripts in there and get some practice.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, Donna, you could always go to our YouTube channel and all the stuff that we've done is on there as well. So,
Okay.
all right. If there's nothing else, you guys have a great day. Natalie, did you want anything? Are you good or
I'm sure I'll have questions later, but I'm good right now.
okay? All right. I really appreciate you guys joining in. And if you want to take a little bit of help, I know Isabel is going to need some help. If you need a little session on something, just reach out to me and I will definitely give you some one-on-one time. Okay.
I definitely will be reaching out to you, Frank.
Okay, Kristen.
Thank
Thanks,
You
you.
guys
Frank.
have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.